Amara smoothed the linen napkin across her lap and studied the flicker of candlelight on the crystal glasses. She had spent all afternoon braising Victor's favorite oxtail stew, decanting the Merlot he once declared liquid velvet, and pressing her teal silk dress so the pleats fell like water. This was their first home-cooked dinner in weeks, and she was determined to rekindle whatever ember still glowed between them. Across the table, Victor's phone screen glowed brighter than the candles. Thumb scrolling, he barely touched the stew. Amara, gently long day. Victor, product launch in the morning. Investors are restless. His eyes never rose. She tried again, recalling the marriage retreat advice about gratitude statements. Amara, I'm proud of how hard you work, but I miss you. A pause, just long enough for hope. Then the buzz of another notification. Victor sighed, locked the screen, and finally met her gaze. Victor, flat, I want a divorce. The word shattered the quiet. Cutlery chimed as she set her fork down. Amara, whisper you what? Victor, I've felt trapped for years, Mara. We're stale. He swirled the Merlot, inspecting its legs like a critic. Victor, shrugging, I'll have Samuel draft papers. 1,000 replies battled in Amara's throat. Please, why? We can fix this. But none escaped. Victor rose, kissed her forehead like a bored brother, and left the dining room still smelling of stew and smoke. She sat frozen until the candles guttered out and darkness folded around her. Hook. At dawn, she will discover that heartbreak has already booked her a one-way ticket out of her own life. Morning light painted the bedroom lilac. Victor emerged from the bathroom in a tailored charcoal suit, knotting his tie. Amara, about last night. Victor, checking watch. I don't have time for drama. He opened a wardrobe drawer she'd never touched. Tucked inside was a velvet box containing a diamond bracelet, far too small for her wrist. Amara, realizing who is she. Victor, coolly Sasha. She makes me feel alive. You used to. The words slashed deeper than the night before. Amara, 10 years. I built every corner of this house with you. Victor shrugs. People upgrade homes, cars, phones. Why not partners? She stared at the man she'd married, searching for traces of the boy who once serenaded her with out-of-tune guitar chords. Nothing remained but a polished shell. Victor pocketed the bracelet. Victor, HR will arrange a stipend. Let's separate gracefully, tabloids love mess. He kissed her cheek, frigid, and walked out humming a pop song about freedom. On the nightstand, Amara's phone vibrated, an unknown number sending heart emoji texts. She ignored it. For the first time in years, the silence in her heart answered back, no. I am still here. Hook. What she finds at the front door will prove Victor has already choreographed her exit. The mansion's foyer felt colder than the Lagos Harmattan. By the mahogany doors sat 3 designer suitcases, hers, each labeled with luggage tags stamped Lux Haven Hotel. A sealed envelope lay atop. Inside, Suite 1902 is prepaid for 1 month. Spa credits included. Please don't make this harder. Tears blurred the elegant handwriting. She wasn't worth a conversation, only logistics. Driver, softly, madam. Mr. Victor said to escort you. Amara could have refused. Instead, dignity straightened her spine. Amara, give me 5 minutes. She climbed the staircase she'd dusted 1,000 times and entered the art studio Victor never visited. Canvases of sunsets and village markets leaned against the wall. Her hidden talent. She selected a small acrylic of a rising phoenix, wrapped it in a shawl, and slipped it into her carry-on. If she must leave, she would carry her own fire. At Lux Haven, gold elevators whispered open. The suite overlooked the Atlantic, but Amara collapsed onto the bed, fists buried in pillows as sobs tore free. Her phone pinged. Jude Nione calling. She almost declined, then remembered the unknown number earlier. She answered with a cracked hello. Jude, Parisian bustle and background, Mara. Saw a rumor online. Tell me it's nonsense. Her voice trembled. Amara, it's worse. Jude, pack your courage. Come to Paris. Tomorrow. Outside, traffic hummed. Inside, a seed of defiance sprouted. Hook, Accepting Jude's invitation may be the lifeline she never knew she needed. That evening Victor texted, "Important dinner tonight. Be there, look presentable. Don't embarrass us." She nearly deleted it, but curiosity outweighed pride. The event unfolded in a rooftop garden strung with fairy lights. Influencers posed with champagne. Afrobeat drummed softly. When Amara stepped out of the elevator, whispers rippled. "Isn't that the wife?" Because she wore a slim ivory jumpsuit that kissed every curve, hair in a towering braided crown. Victor spotted her, lips curling into professional surprise. Beside him stood Sasha, all 25, legs for days, diamond bracelet flashing. "Victor," micro-smile, "thank you for coming. Remember, graceful." A violinist played a flourish. A waiter dinged a crystal glass. "Victor, raising champagne friends, I'm thrilled to announce my engagement to the extraordinary Sasha." Applause erupted. Cameras flashed. For one beat, Amara's knees threatened to buckle, but she forced a smile and clapped politely. Victor's eyes narrowed. Her composure robbed him of the messy scene he expected. Sasha approached, voice dripping with faux concern. "Sasha, no hard feelings, right? Age is just unforgiving." Amara met her gaze, calm as dusk. "Amara, youth fades faster when carried by cruelty." A hush. Guests exchanged looks. Victor's jaw ticked. Sasha scoffed and turned away, but a blogger's lens captured the moment. Amara, luminous, Sasha, scowling. The photo would soon race through social media. Hook, by dawn, millions will weigh in on who truly won that night. The following morning, #UpgradeWife trended on X. A blogger's clip showed Victor joking. "Out with the old, in with the bold," as guests laughed. Behind him, Amara's dignified profile glowed under fairy lights. The internet decided, Victor equals villain. Amara sat on the hotel balcony, phone buzzing with strangers' sympathy and cruelty in equal measure. Headline screamed, "Wife of 10 years dumped for IG model." She sipped coffee, hands shaking. Mrs. Lamy called. "Mrs. Lamy," voice trembling, "my son is a fool. You'll always be my daughter." Amara's tears returned, softer this time, like rain after drought. At noon, a courier delivered a parcel. Luxe envelopes stamped Air Lumiere, premier class, and a handwritten note. "The atelier is ready. Let the world see your spark." Jude. Her heart raced. Beneath the tickets lay a sleek tablet preloaded with a mood board titled Phoenix Collection. Amara tapped through sketches, flowing fabrics, bold jewel tones, mature silhouettes crowned by a motif of rising flames. She inhaled Atlantic air thick with salt and possibility. The world might mock her today, but tomorrow she would cross an ocean toward a city of light, and toward the woman she was always meant to be. End of episode cliffhanger. As Amara boards the midnight flight, a final push alert appears on her phone. Video reaches 5 million views. Victor's shares plummet. She smiles, powers off the device, and steps into the cabin, carrying nothing but a phoenix and the promise of rebirth. Jude Nyoni stared at the paused video on his tablet. Victor's smug toast, Amara's stricken face, and felt his gut knot. The creative director of Maison Nyoni had spent a decade draping royalty, yet nothing he saw on runways hurt like that 6-second clip. Jude, on speaker, pacing his Paris loft. "Mara, tell me you're already on a plane." Amara, voice brittle. "I'm still in Lagos. I don't even own a valid passport. The old one expired." Jude. "Then we'll renew it in 24 hours. My assistant will walk it through the embassy. Check your email, tickets, hotel, a driver. No excuses." Silence. Jude imagined the girl who once painted murals on her dorm walls hesitating at a crossroads. Amara softly, "I can't just run away." Jude. "You're not running, you're arriving. Paris owes you." At Lux Haven, Amara swiped through Jude's attachments. A first-class itinerary, a letter of invitation from the Fédération de la Haute Couture. Each document felt like a lifeline plucked from a whirlpool. She exhaled, opened the sweet closet, and began packing not with defeat but intention, choosing pieces that whispered of possibility. Her Phoenix painting, sketchbook, the ivory jumpsuit that had rattled Sasha. 27 hours later, the Air Lumiere jet descended over the city of light. Paris glittered like a jewelry box flung open at midnight. A chauffeur held a placard. Amara Akimbo. She followed him to a vintage Bentley, its leather scented with bergamot and cedar. In the back seat lay a velveteen jewelry case. Inside, a thin gold necklace bearing a single fiery orange opal. A note in Jude's looping script. Phoenixes need flames. As the car crossed Pont Alexander III, she caught her reflection in the Seine's dark water. Tired eyes, but embers peeking beneath. Hook. Sunrise will find her standing before doors that could rewrite everything, if she dares to push them open. The atelier occupied a renovated 19th century glasshouse off Rue de Turin. Morning sun poured through its iron ribs, igniting bolts of silk draped over mannequins like frozen waterfalls. Patterned papers fluttered from ceiling racks. Steam hissed from an industrial iron, punctuating French chatter. Jude bounded down a metal staircase, scarf trailing. Jude, grinning La Reine Esthervie. Seamstresses glanced up. A hush rippled as they recognized the woman from the viral clip. He introduced the core team. Adana Orleans, Nigerian-French head designer with cobalt braids and a tape measure necklace. Etienne Cutter, all monochrome turtlenecks and arched brows. Lucy, PR strategist, manicure like crimson armor. Adana clasped Amara's hands. Adana, we've studied your paintings. Color intuition like yours is rare. Jude says you'll assist with the Fashion Week capsule. Amara, startled, I'm helping choose colors? Jude, you're co-art directing. Deadline is 3 weeks. They whisked her into a whirlwind, fabric archives, mood boards, model castings. Though jet lag tugged at her limbs, exhilaration trumped exhaustion. She suggested adding bronze encre lame to a scarlet evening gown. Etienne raised a doubtful brow, until sunlight hit the swatch and turned it liquid fire. Lunch was espresso standing up and butter croissants inhaled between fittings. Lucy, scrolling analytics. Our teaser of you arriving has 1.2 million views. Comments call you Queen Phoenix. Amara nearly choked on pastry. She'd been invisible for a decade. Now strangers debated her courage in 3 languages. As dusk ambered the skylights, Jude placed a sketchpad in her hands. Jude, tonight draw whatever hurts. Tomorrow we'll stitch it into power. Hook, a storm's brewing, literal and metaphorical, that will test whether she can rise instead of fold. 3 days later, Paris drowned in summer rain. High-profile model Ingrid Dartsey called from a hospital bed. Sprained ankle, runway impossible. Panic crackled through the glasshouse. The show's finale gown, a midnight blue column of pleated organza, had been tailored exclusively to Ingrid's measurements. Adana, head in hands, without a replacement the press will crucify us. Jude's eyes slid to Amara, who was matching linings at a work table. She looked up, sensing the weight of 30 gazes. Amara, nervous laugh. I'm 37, not sample size. Etienne, tape measure flying, hold still. Minutes later the gown hugged her like destiny. Length perfect, shoulders regal. Adana, whisper, it's as if we designed it for you. Lucy live-streamed a camera test. Commenters flooded in. She's the woman from the breakup video. Elegance incarnate. Backstage at the side runway show, an off-schedule but fiercely watched event, Amara's pulse thundered. Models towered, cigarette smoke curled, techno bass vibrated floorboards. Jude adjusted her opal necklace. Jude soft, walk like every step erases his memory. The cue sounded. Amara strode into white light. Each heel strike echoed years of stifled longing. She felt the fabric breathe with her, the organza rippling like wings. Mid-catwalk, a photographer yelled, Phoenix, over the shoulder. Instinct lifted her chin. She glanced back with a half-smile, vulnerable, unbowed. Bulb flash. In that millisecond, an image was born that would ricochet around the planet. Backstage she trembled, adrenaline dazing her. Adana wrapped her in ankara. Adana, teary, the room stopped breathing. Hook. By dawn, brands will battle for her signature, and Victor will awaken to a world suddenly obsessed with the woman he dismissed. At 5 a.m., Lucy's phone pinged so violently it skittered off her nightstand. Vogue FR. Who is Phoenix? The over-the-shoulder shot headlined every fashion blog. View count, 2 million, then 4, then 10. In Lagos, Victor's gym treadmill beat workout complete, but he kept running, trying to outpace the image looping on screens above. Amara, radiant, captioned, "The woman he didn't want." Sasha patted over in Lycra. "Sasha, faux sweet, isn't she fierce?" Victor thumbed the emergency stop, nearly stumbling. "Victor, it's a gimmick. She'll disappear next week." But PR emails already clogged his inbox. Brands delaying product launch. Female empowerment backlash risk. Across Paris, Amara sat cross-legged on Jude's sofa, laptop lighting her face. Her social feed exploded. Fellowship offers, interview requests, a DM from Oscar-winning actress Kesai Mwangi. "You define grace. Let's talk campaign." Amara, "Is this real life?" Jude, grinning, "Pinch yourself later. Today we signed contracts." He arranged a whirlwind of meetings with Lux Scent Parfumery, Eclat Jewelry, and Alice Airlines, all coveting Phoenix. During negotiations, Amara surprised even herself, countering percentages, insisting on charitable clauses for women in tech grants. Each yes fortified new sinew in her spine. That night, the Eiffel Tower glittered. She and Jude toasted with elderflower mocktails on a terrace. Amara, quiet. 10 days ago I was luggage by a door." Jude, 10 days ago a caterpillar agreed to abandon its shell." Camera drones hovered, paparazzi drones, snapping images of the duo cloaked in twinkle lights. Tomorrow the headline would read, "Phoenix spreads wings over Paris skyline." Hook, a bigger canvas beckons, towering billboards high above Fifth Avenue, setting the stage for an ex-husband's reckoning. Times Square, New York, 3 weeks later. Neon cacophony, honking taxis, summer heat rising from asphalt. On a skyscraping LED screen, Amara's face materialized amid swirling rose gold petals, eyes closed, lips parted, opal necklace glowing. Voiceover, "Rebirth, the new fragrance by Lux Scent. Become your own legend." A block away, Victor's town car crawled through traffic toward an investors' conference at the Marriott Marquis. He glanced out the tinted window, mined on quarterly numbers, then froze. His own image stretched across a rival electronic board, advertising his tech brand, but dwarfed by the colossal perfume mat above it. Amara, alive, ethereal. Musk and bergamot wafted from street-level scent dispensers. Pedestrians sniffed, smiled, lifted phones. Inside the conference, investors murmured about the Phoenix effect. Victor's brand sentiment down 14%. Female demographic deserting. Board member. Her talk show interview hit 75 million views. Why haven't you congratulated her publicly? Victor's jaw flexed. "Victor, I built her platform." Analyst. "Or gave her the catalyst." Back in Paris, Amara watched the billboard live stream on a tablet, tears glinting. The campaign launch party swirled around her. Editors, celebrities, supermodels, sniffing the fragrance on silk blotters. A violin quartet played a slowed Afrobeats riff. Brand CEO, Madame Therese. Sales projections doubled overnight. The world believes in Phoenix. Amara clinked glasses with Jude. Amara, to every woman told she's outdated, may she outshine neon. Across the Atlantic, Sasha scrolled social media, seeing herself tagged in memes. "When you're the upgrade, but the ex-wife levels to goddess." She hurled her phone. It shattered. "Sasha, to Victor, make it stop. She's everywhere." Victor, low, defeated, she is the story. He opened his laptop, searched flights to Paris, then hesitated, realizing a rival wouldn't fix what ego broke. Outside his penthouse window, the New York billboard cycled again, Phoenix rising against a night sky. Amid the glow, Victor's reflection looked small, almost ghostly. Victor had always trusted numbers. Numbers obeyed. Numbers bowed to ambition. Yet the latest analytics dashboard bled red. Brand sentiment minus 18%. Stock price down 12 points. 340,000 comments under the hashtag Phoenix Rising. And nearly all of them framed him as the villain who discarded a queen. His conference room, once a war room of triumphant product launches, felt like a morgue. PR chief Gina Anders flicked through slides on the wall screen. Every one a fresh bruise. Gina, cool, luxury partners no longer want your face beside theirs. Female demographic calls you a cautionary tale. Victor, slamming fist, I created Amara's lifestyle. The Phoenix brand wouldn't exist without my money. CFO Raj, investors argue she's grown far beyond our market cap. Her fragrance pre-orders rival last quarter's revenue. Victor paced, jaw twitching. He'd expected a ripple of envy, not a tidal wave of condemnation. Gina, we recommend a public statement acknowledging Amara's success, followed by a donation to women's charities. Victor, so I bend the knee. To an ex-wife who paints pretty birds. Gina's patience snapped. Gina, to a global icon who turned humiliation into triumph. Yes. Victor's phone vibrated. A call from his mother. He ignored it. Then a second alert. Partnership with Trend Nova suspended. Trend Nova was his flagship. Blood roared in his ears. He stormed toward the window overlooking Lagos Lagoon. The horizon, once limitless, felt like a cage. Victor, muttering she thinks she's untouchable. Across the world, Amara rehearsed lines for her first primetime interview, blissfully unaware that Victor's empire listed like a storm-struck ship. Hook. Victor's desperation will spark a scheme that could either salvage his pride or torch what little reputation remains. Camera cranes hovered like steel vultures over the Tonight in Paris stage. The host, charismatic Franco-Malian icon Binta Diarra, greeted Amara with a warm double-cheek kiss. The studio audience erupted, signs reading Phoenix Queen waved above rows of velvet seats. Amara wore a crimson silk sheath for Maison Ioni's upcoming collection, the opal necklace gleaming at her collarbone. Backstage, Jude squeezed her hand. Jude, speak your truth. Let dignity finish what grace began. Red on air lights flared. Binta, Amara, the world watched your heartbreak. Now it watches your rebirth. How did we get from tears to Times Square? Amara inhaled, remembering candles, oxtail stew, and a dull, I want a divorce. Amara, steady. Pain forced me to ask who I was without someone else's spotlight. Turns out I'm my own son. The audience hooped. Binta slid a tablet forward, showing Victor's engagement party clip. Binta. Some call this video the match that lit the Phoenix. Regrets. Amara, smiling softly. I thank Victor. Without that moment, fear might still be my cage. Twitter caught fire. Quotes excerpted in real time. I'm my own son. Thank your villains. Hashtags #graceful revenge and #own your son trended within minutes. Then came the surprise segment. Binta gestured off stage. Two young girls entered, wearing vibrant dresses Amara had sketched. They hugged her shyly. Binta, through Phoenix Foundation, you funded their coding academy scholarships. Eyes misted, Amara knelt. Amara, the world invested in me. I invest back. The studio thundered applause. Across the Atlantic, Victor watched from his penthouse, tumbler of whiskey trembling. Sasha scrolled hateful comments directed at him, panic in her voice. Sasha, we need a PR miracle. Victor's stare hardened at the screen, at Amara glowing beneath stage lights that once belonged to him. By show's end, viewership shattered records, 75 million streams in 24 hours. Phoenix Fragrance sold out globally. News tickers proclaimed, Amara Kinbo, the woman who rewrote the narrative. Hook. Victor scrambles for damage control, but the fissures in his upgrade relationship are about to widen into chasms. High above Victoria Island, Victor's penthouse rang with argument. Sasha flung a tablet onto the marble counter. It spun, clattering like a cymbal. Sasha, voice shrill. Your PR mess is costing me deals. Lingerie line dropped me. I was supposed to be the fresh face, not the villain's arm candy. Victor, exhausted, will pivot. Maybe a couple's reality show. Public loves redemption arcs. Sasha, I'm 25, not 45. I'm not doing rehab TV for your ego. She stomped into the walk-in closet. Rows of couture Victor bought to post on her socials. Now each gown felt like flimsy armor. She slammed the door. Faint sobs seeped through. Victor sank onto a leather sofa, mind-whirring strategy. Gina's counsel had failed. Public contrition made him look weak. He needed boldness. He needed control. He dialed his assistant. Victor, I'll host a charity gala for arts education. Invite the elite, celebrities, press, and send an invitation to Phoenix Industries. The assistant hesitated. Assistant. That's Amara's company. Victor. Exactly. I'll position myself as the bigger man, the forgiver. Picture headlines. Ex-spouses unite for charity. Meanwhile in Paris, Amara met Jude and Adana in a candlelit bistro. Lucy had emailed the gala invite. It glittered in gold foil. Adana, aghast, it's a trap. He'll spin your presence as his benevolence. Amara traced the embossed Phoenix watermark Victor had obviously copied from her brand. Amara, then we won't come as guests. She glanced at Jude. A silent plan sparked between them. A plan requiring courage, couture, and a few powerful allies. Across the continent, Sasha scrolled comments comparing her to fast fashion versus Amara's classic couture. Underneath the vanity lights, she saw a wrinkle forming beneath concealer and panicked audibly. Victor, hearing her, felt the first pang of empathy in months, quickly squelched by resentment. Hook. Invitations accepted on Amara's terms. The gala will become a catwalk of revenge staged in velvet and gold. Days before the gala, the Maison Nioni atelier hummed like a beehive. Bolts of fabric unfurled in rivers of molten copper, emerald, and obsidian. At the center stood Amara, tape measure draped around her neck, sketching on holographic tablets that projected garments onto rotating mannequins. Jude beaming. Your debut collection needs a name. Amara recalled the acrylic, painting sheet once hidden beneath a shawl. Amara, Phoenix. For women reforging themselves in fire. They decided the gala, sponsored by Victor, would secretly double as Phoenix's soft launch. Invitations went out to editors and influencers under non-disclosure agreements. Lucy coaxed subtle leaks to build whisper frenzy. Amara designed 5 statement pieces for herself, each symbolizing a stage of rebirth. Ember, a black sequined sheath with scarlet lining glimpsed through laser-cut slashes. Ignite, a jumpsuit of bronze lame, shoulders winged like sparks. Flare, a crimson ball gown whose train blossomed into orange feathers. Inferno, an architectural pantsuit in molten gold, embroidered with tiny flames. Ascend, a white column dress banded with iridescent shards, like ash-turned diamond. The atelier live-streamed cryptic silhouettes teasing the collection. Hashtag What is Phoenix trended. Victor's gala anticipation soared. Press RSVPs doubled, but he didn't know half were there for Amara. On final fitting night, Adana adjusted the Ascend dress hem, while Amara wobbled on crystal stilettos. Adana, tearful, when you step into that ballroom, every broken woman will stand taller. Amara hugged her, heart pounding not with fear, but ferocious joy. Hook. Champagne towers, string quartets, flashbulbs, one evening set to crown a new royalty, while stripping the old king bare. The Enigma Arts Gala unfolded inside the gilded Grand Eco Hotel ballroom, Lagos, domed ceiling painted with cherubs, floor a mirror of black marble. Victor commanded the entrance in a midnight tux, Sasha clinging to his arm in a fire engine gown chosen to eclipse any ex-wife sneak attack. Cameras popped. Victor's practiced grin hid nerves. Behind him, a giant banner read, Empowering Tomorrow's Artists, his redemption campaign. Victor, to PR aid, do we have confirmation Phoenix RSVP'd? Aid. They accepted, anonymous representatives. No site yet. Inside, a 30-foot LED wall looped Victor's philanthropic highlights. Guests sipped 24-karat fleck champagne, whispering about whether she would show. Minutes before the charity auction, doors at the far end swung open. Gasps cascaded. Amara entered flanked by Jude and Adana, wearing ember, black jungle cat sleek, flashes of scarlet like burning coals. The phoenix opal pulsed at her throat. Victor's breath stalled. For a moment the ballroom tilted, his memories flickering. The silent dinner, the packed luggage, her tears. Now she glided across the floor, radiating power he could no longer touch. Reporters rushed. Journalist. Amara, did Victor invite you personally? Amara, smiling, Phoenix was invited. We support any event uplifting the arts. Sasha bristled, wine sloshing. Sasha, low hissed to Victor. Why does she look like our headline? Victor squeezed her hand. Too tight. The charity auction began with Victor on stage. He unveiled a pledge. $1 million for community art centers. Applause. Cameras flashed. He felt momentum returning, until Amara raised her paddle. Auctioneer. Lot 7. A manufacturing warehouse lease. Perfect for a startup fashion house. Opening bid $50,000. Amara. 100. Murmurs. Victor swallowed. She was bidding on a building he'd hoped to acquire for his smart fabric venture. Victor. 200. Amara. 500. Gasps. Victor's jaw clenched. Victor. 750. Amara cool 1 million. Silence thick as honey. Gavel slammed. Auctioneer. Sold to Phoenix Industries. Victor forced a smile as cameras spun to him, seeking reaction. The LED wall behind glitched, suddenly displaying an animated Phoenix logo. Lucy's timed hack, before switching back. The crowd buzzed, electrified. Champagne hour rotated. Amara disappeared, returning in Ignite. Bronze lame, catching chandelier light, like sparks. Every entrance a transformation. Every exit, rumor fuel. Guests flocked, investors slipped cards, social feeds detonated. Amara upstages X at his own gala. Victor retreated to a side terrace, sweat beading despite the cool night. Lagos skyline glittered like mocking jewels. He tugged at his collar, heart hammering. Behind him Sasha argued with stylists, her gown's zipper split, symbolism too on the nose. Amara approached in her third look, flare, gown ablaze in feathers. The terrace fell hush. Amara, softly, thank you for the invitation. Tonight raised vital funds. Victor searched for bitterness in her eyes, found none. Only serenity that made his own heart feel heavy. Victor, hoarse, you were nothing without me. Amara, smiling, then imagine what I'll be without you and your opinions. She turned, feathers whispering, leaving him staring after a woman who had once begged for his attention, and now commanded the world's. Inside, the house lights dimmed. Lucy cued a surprise finale, a holographic runway where rotating avatars previewed the full Phoenix collection, ending with a scent swirling into diamond dust. Guests erupted in ovation. Victor re-entered, shell-shocked. As investors, he'd courted beeline toward Amara. Sasha, overshadowed, down champagne after champagne. A violin version of Burna Boy's Last drifted through speakers, lyrics of Karma echoing. Victor's ballroom felt suddenly too small, too hot. The DJ switched tracks to an Afro House remix as he downed water that did nothing to cool the panic. The patent challenge text glowed on his phone. Filing complete. Discovery request follows. Anonymous, but he recognized the legal firm. Predators who never attacked without a client willing to pay millions up front. He'd barely processed the threat when the crowd on the dance floor parted and swallowed its own gasp. Amara re-entered in her fourth look, Inferno, a molten gold pantsuit with lapels embroidered in microflames that flickered under spotlights. No jewelry, only the opal, now ablaze. She seemed taller, as if the blaze had given her extra vertebrae. Cinematographers pivoted. Lenses stretched toward her like sunflowers. Investor number 1, awed whisper, that suit belongs on the Met steps. Investor number 2, or a stock ticker, can we still get into her pre-IPO round? Victor straightened his bow tie, forcing a smile as he approached. Victor, careful politeness, impressive show, Amara. Amara, genuine thank you. You raised substantial funds tonight. Well done. Her lack of venom rattled him more than any insult could. Across the room, Mrs. Lamy stepped from a cluster of silver-haired patrons, cane clicking across marble. Mrs. Lamy, to Amara, embracing my child. You shine brighter every time I blink. Amara teary. I carried your words with me when I felt small. Mrs. Lamy turned to her son. Mrs. Lamy. Victor, your father built empires to serve people. Remember that before you have nothing left to serve. The orchestra struck a waltz. A UN ambassador invited Amara to dance. She accepted, gliding into the swirl while Victor stood sidelined, watching his network, the one he'd curated, reorbit around her gravity. Each spin of the dance floor shredded a thin layer of his confidence. On the balcony, Jude nudged Lucy. "Jude, we launch crowdfunding at dawn. Those patents he clutches? Let's buy the ones he undervalued." Lucy's grin was wolfish. The camera drone dipped. Its final frame of the night showed Amara mid-twirl, gold flames licking across the screen, an image so captivating it would loop on world news before sunrise. Hook, by morning, Amara's silent gambit and Victor's crumbling foundation will collide in a way that sets social media ablaze. Dawn painted Lagos pink. Amara sipped ginger tea on her hotel balcony as hashtags #Phoenix Inferno and #BallroomBurn overtook global trends. Overnight, the soft launch pre-order page for Phoenix line crashed twice under traffic. 40,000 units sold in 6 hours. Lucy burst in, tablet waving. "Lucy, 8 venture firms want in at a $150 million valuation before we even show them profit forecasts." "Amara, steady, send them the deck. Tell them Phoenix is more than profit, it's a movement." Down the highway, in Victor's glossy headquarters, chaos ruled. The anonymous patent challenge had triggered an audit of his supply chain. Environmental activists picketed outside after leaked documents, somehow, surfaced showing toxic waste in river deltas. The CFO cornered him. "CFO Raj, our lenders want assurances you can weather the fines." Victor, shouting, "We can, once I lock new investors and finalize the smart fabric license." "Raj, investors are waiting to see how you handle your public image." Just then, Sasha emerged carrying 2 suitcases. Eyes red, voice calm in a terrifying way. "Sasha, I called a press conference for noon. I'm leaving this narrative before it drowns me." Victor grabbed her wrist. "Victor, you'll tank both our reputations." "Sasha, yanking free. My reputation is already collateral damage. Yours is self-inflicted." She strode out, paparazzi already gathering. Victor felt a cold vacuum open in his chest. First his wife, now his upgrade. Both slipping through fingers that once gripped anything he desired. Across town, Amara met with a consortium of women-led funds inside a converted warehouse, the very building she'd outbid Victor for. Sunlight streamed through broken skylights. Dust motes danced like sparks. "Investor Nadia, why base operations here?" Amara ran a hand across the rough brick. "Amara, this place used to exploit seamstresses for pennies. By Fashion Week, it will house the first ethical smart fabric studio in West Africa." Applause. Cameras flashed again. Story after story cast Victor as outdated, Amara as the future. She felt power, yes, but also responsibility weighty as iron. Still, she carried it like couture. Tailored, decisive, unstoppable. Hook. Victor's empire teeters, but pride has one move left. A scandal buried years ago is about to detonate on the world stage. News broke mid-afternoon. Whistleblower alleges child labor in Victor Tech's Zanzibar factory. Dock workers filmed teenagers hauling cobalt ore. The clip went viral within minutes. Stock markets reacted as if an earthquake had hit. Victor Tech lost $1 billion in market cap before lunch. Victor summoned his legal team. Attorney. If true, fines could exceed $400 million, criminal charges likely. Victor, voice cracking, we outsourced through third parties. We didn't know. Attorney. Ignorance won't save us. As if choreographed, Sasha's noon press conference aired simultaneously. She stood at a podium outside a women's shelter, renouncing Victor, pledging to donate her engagement ring auction proceeds to survivors of coercive relationships. Cameras zoomed tight on her trembling yet resolved expression. Victor watched from his office, screens multiplying disasters, sponsors pulling out, think pieces titled, "How Misogyny Tanked to Titan." But the worst blow came from his mother, Mrs. Lamy, by phone, voice like thunder. "Victor Adeyemi, I raised you better than greed. Step down before the name Lamy means villain." He opened his mouth, but the call clicked dead. Later, an insider email leaked, a memo Victor had sent months ago instructing managers to trim ethical costs. Social channels combusted. Protesters camped outside his gates. Meanwhile, Phoenix Industries issued a statement. We commit to living wages, zero child labor, and full carbon transparency. It contrasted Victor's scandal like sunrise beside a house fire. The sneaker brand Koji switched from VictorTech fabric to Phoenix Bio silk, citing aligned values. Backed into a corner, Victor scheduled an exclusive interview on primetime television, intending to salvage what he could. But whispers on dark web forums hinted the interviewer had obtained damning documents, thanks to an anonymous dossier emailed from Paris. Hook. Victor will step into a televised ambush while Amara steers her rocket upward. One wrong sentence could trigger freefall. The red carpet premiere of a documentary on female entrepreneurship unfurled before the Paris Opera House. Flashbulbs strobed as Amara arrived in Ascend, white column gown refracting lights into rainbows. Beside her, Jude in a peacock blue tux, Adana in Ankara couture. Reporters surged. A bold journalist cut through. Journalist, Amara, if Victor apologized, truly, would you take him back? Her smile held the serenity of moonlight on water. Amara, take you back. Laughter rippled, microphones buzzed. She continued, Amara, I wish him clarity and growth, but I don't reclaim cages I've outgrown. The line exploded across every platform within seconds. Inside, during the screening, Victor's live interview aired across cafes and phones. Under the hot studio lights, the host laid out the child labor evidence. Victor stammered, sweat shining. Host, your ex-wife tours factories to ensure safety. Why didn't you? Victor tried to pivot. Amara is exploiting this for personal gain. The audience, both studio and global, visibly recoiled. The host's eyebrow arched. Host, yet she's pledged 10% of profits to the very communities your company damaged. Social media declared the interview a train wreck before it ended. Hashtag Victor fails and hashtag Take Who Back trended top 5 worldwide. Stock halted trading. Outside the Opera House, Jude showed Amara real-time sentiment graphs. Green vertical lines for Phoenix. Red plummets for VictorTech. Jude, quiet pride, you broke the internet again by refusing to break yourself. She exhaled, a note of solemnity threading her triumph. Amara, victory means more when it heals, not only conquers. Hook, one final chapter remains. Victor stands at ruin's edge. Amara on the precipice of legend. Who will write the last line? 6 months later, snow-dusted Paris rooftops. The Phoenix flagship store opened on Avenue Montaigne, facade of reclaimed glass, powered entirely by solar panels. A bronze sculpture dominated the atrium. A phoenix mid-takeoff, feathers forged from recycled circuit boards, symbolic resurrection from Victor's fallen tech empire. A discreet plaque read, dedicated to every voice once silenced. Amara cut the ribbon, while drones captured the moment for a live global feed. Sales crashed servers again. Phoenix doubled production capacity within hours. Behind her, Jude and Adana toasted with hibiscus mocktails. Adana, from luggage by the door to this. Amara, smiling, we walk through doors we build ourselves. Later, in a sun-washed penthouse overlooking Lagos Lagoon, the very view she and Victor once dreamed about, Amara set a final piece in place. Her small acrylic painting of the Phoenix hung above a minimalist fireplace. The room smelled of new beginnings, cedar floors, fresh paint, subtle notes of her fragrance diffused through vents. Her phone buzzed. Victor Adeyemi. She considered, then answered. Victor, horse, congratulations on the store. I wanted you to know I'm stepping down. Selling assets to fund reparations. Silence bridged oceans. Amara, gentle. I hope you find your own rise, Victor. Without ashes on others. He exhaled, something like relief, then disconnected. A second call came. Mrs. Lamy. Mrs. Lamy, cheerful, grand opening looked divine. The foundation scholarships, you've tripled them. Amara, your words lit my first match. I'm just adding kindling. As twilight bled orange across water, Amara stepped onto her terrace. Fireflies winked below. She closed her eyes, listening. City hum, distant laughter, her own heartbeat, steady, sovereign. Voice-over narration for the YouTube finale would say. They said she wasn't what he wanted. She became everything the world needed. And when the ashes settled, the only crown left standing was made of flames she forged herself. The camera would pull back. Amara silhouetted against the horizon, Phoenix sculpture glowing behind glass, Lego skyline glittering far below. Fade to black. Credits roll over Burna Boy's Ye softly remixing into orchestral triumph. The end.